So how do you get infinite money from the stock market? That is what I'm going to teach you guys today. However, though, to start this video, I have a question to ask you guys, okay? Would you rather receive $1 million today, cash money, you got it, no strings attached, or would you rather, for example, 50K every year for 20 years in passive income? Comment down below, let me know. Now, I know this question is weird, but I use 1 million and not 2 million or 3 million because basically the average person, like you and me, we're average people, usually make around $1 million in a lifetime. And on top of that, usually they retire with around $65,000 in their investment accounts. Meaning for all that lifetime of work, they only have to show for it around 6.5% of their earnings. That's all they get to retire with, meaning a lot of people, I know we have, for example, right now, like the great resignation, people are quitting their jobs, but a lot of people, when they get older, are going to have to stay in the job market for the next 10, 20 years to try to catch up. However, though, in this video, I'm gonna break down exactly how to invest money and how to make sure that basically this money will never run out. And not just run out, right? But the goal is that you will have more money than you ever need, okay? And by the way, it's not scamming, it's not forex trading, it's not going out there and picking stocks, it's none of that stuff, but I'm gonna break everything down in this video right here. And as always, guys, make sure to like this video, it helps a lot with the channel. And on top of that, also subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified, so every time I post a video, you get notified first about it. Now, the very first thing is, guys, okay, I believe that definitions are super important, okay? You want definitions all the time. So what do I mean when I say, for example, infinite money, right? What do I mean by that? Well, what I mean is basically that there is a very low chance that the passive income will stop coming. That's the goal. And when I say it's a very low chance that will stop coming, I mean, for example, we have to have World War III, America has to stop being America, and things just have to go very, very, very badly for you to end up, for example, on the other coin. That's the whole idea, okay? So the odds are going to be very low. That's what I mean by infinite money. Now, very important you guys understand this. A lot of us have the wrong idea when it comes to becoming rich, a millionaire, or just, for example, financially free. We believe that basically the whole idea is you gotta have, for example, a frugal mind, meaning, for example, you don't spend that much money, which is great, by the way, it's a part of the game. But remember, there's only so much frugal that you can actually be before you end up, for example, on TLC's show, Extreme Cheapskates. And those people right there, they're very cheap, very frugal, don't spend any money, but they're still not wealthy or millionaires whatsoever. So the key is not just being frugal, just keep that in mind. And you know, there's a cap on frugality, but there is no cap, for example, on how much money you can actually make. So before you try anything I'm saying in this video, consider, for example, trying to go out there and making the #1 investment, which is basically investing in yourself, getting a skill that makes you at least a minimum between $40,000 every single year to around $8,000, okay? 80,000. If you can do that, great. That's gonna give you enough money to do this entire plan right here. But trying to do this plan with like 20,000, 30K is just going to be a lot harder. That's why I'm saying increase the level of your skills, and that would also increase basically the level of your pay. Now, I do want to answer this question, guys, because I know you're probably wondering, Tommy, okay, so when it comes to this question you asked in the beginning of the video, $1 million today or 50K for 20 years. By the way, 50K for 20 years equals $1 million. But whenever you hear this question like, oh, $1 million today or passive income, usually, okay? By the way, you might win the lottery, you might get an inheritance, they might ask you these questions, or you might just get lucky with something out there, okay? Or you might get like a huge bonus from work. Usually, the best option is going to be, hey, I want to take all that money right here, right now in a massive lump sum. Because remember, inflation is a real thing. The dollar loses buying power. It's not just like this crazy invention. No, it really does. So meaning, for example, $1 million today is worth $1 million today. You know what it can buy. However, $1 million 20 years from now is going to be worth around 40% less, meaning it's not going to be the same amount of money. On top of that, for all of my investors out there, if you get $1 million today and you invested it at 10% for 20 years, you would have around $6.7 million. If you do the exact same thing with like 50K, or for example, 20 years at 10%, if I'm not mistaken, you would have somewhere around 3.1 million. That's a massive difference because again, every year the million makes you $100,000 in income, while for example, the 50K only makes you 5K. It's a massive difference. So that's why I say usually the answer is gonna be, hey, take the lump sum. I'll check the comments to see exactly which one of you guys went with the lump sum and which one of you guys basically went with the passive income. I want to know. However, though, let's break down the infinite money loop when it comes to the stock market and break down exactly how it actually works. Now, there are 3 ways to do it. You have the long-term way, that means 20 years plus. You have the short-term way, that means 10 years and under. And then, for example, you have the I just got lucky. And usually getting lucky, taking massive risks is a very dangerous game because usually the odds are not in your favor. And I'm not the type of guy that basically I want to gamble my kids, my wife, my house, just in hopes of, for example, just double my money. It's just not my style whatsoever. However, though, the core idea is you want to basically grow a lump sum of money in the stock market, a lot of money basically, and then you want to have that money grow at least 10% or 8% every single year. That means that's how much money you're actually going to make in profit every single year. And the idea is that you're only going to take out around 4% of your earnings. Now, common sense will tell you that basically, if I get a basket and every single year you add 10 eggs, but only take out 4 eggs, eventually what will happen is that basically that basket will start overflowing, even though I'm still using 4 eggs every single year, because basically I'm adding more eggs than I'm basically taking out. The same idea here. If my money grows at X plus 1, but I only take out, for example, X, well, in reality, guess what? It is going to grow more than I'm taking out, meaning thus I will never run out of money. However, though, let's run the math and put these numbers into action, because I want to show you guys exactly how this works and how you can do this today, not tomorrow, today. So the first step is this, guys. You want to grab your phone, the calculator. Don't worry, it's not trigonometry or geometry or any crazy math out there. But all you want to do is just for a second, think about exactly how much money you would need every single year in passive income to be comfortable. You know, how much money do you have to receive in passive income every single year to be comfortable? In my case, I would be good with just $40,000 a year. That's just me personally. Then what you want to do is just write down the number. So right here, $40,000, and then multiply it by 25. That's all you want to do. Now, multiply by 25, it's going to be $1 million. Again, it goes back into the same question, same example. I got the whole video connected. That's why, okay? However, comment down below your number. Now, what this means is that, remember, in order for this to work, I'm going to have to save up a big lump sum of money in the stock market. Now, what this means is basically, if I have $1 million invested, right, and it grows at 10%, 100K a year, but I only take out 4%, which is basically 40K a year, eventually my money will basically keep growing and growing and growing, and I'll never run out of money. The same basket and eggs example. But how do I find out exactly how long it'll take me to invest this much money and have that much money in there? Remember, you have 3 ways. You get lucky, the odds are not in your favor, by the way. You do the long term, 20 years plus, or you short term, basically 10 years and under. Now, what you want to do is, again, you're not a mathematician, I'm not Einstein, so we're gonna use an old-fashioned online calculator. And my favorite one right here is called Savings Goal Calculator, okay? And it's by .gov. So go ahead and basically get that one. The Savings Goal Calculator, don't worry, the link is down below. Visit it after this video. But the idea is basically, if my goal is to have $1 million invested, and I start, for example, just with $1. By the way, when you do this, you got to put in at least $1. You can't put in 0. The calculator is pretty stupid, so that's why. But if I want to do this, for example, let's just say in 20 years, and my money's going to grow by 10%, it means, hey, Tommy, here's the answer for you. You have to invest $1,000, $1,400 every single month for the next 20 years to have that much money. Compound interest does magic, by the way, because guess what? $1,400 multiplied by 12, that's only like 16K a year. Multiplied by 20, that's only like 300K, but you have $1 million because basically compound interest does magic. However, though, if you want to do this, for example, in the short term, meaning, for example, 10 years and under, in reality, you got to invest somewhere around $5,228 every single month. And that is almost a lot more than what the average person makes. So you're probably telling me, Tommy, what the heck am I supposed to do? Well, don't worry, because by the end of this video, if you make it all the way to the end, I'll show you a way to actually retire with at least 30 to 40% less money and still be doing amazing, okay? So basically, you won't need all the money you think you need. However, I do want to show you guys this equation right here, because this right here is the entire retirement percentage withdrawal calculator. Now, say for example, I decide to retire right now, okay? I'm around 24 years old, let's say 20 years old, I'm 20 years old, and I'm to retire at $1 million, and basically, I'm going to live for another 70 years or whatever. Now, again, here's all the math here. Numbers of years in retirement, 70. How many years do you retire? The answer is 0. I'm gonna retire today. And on top of that, also, average return, 10%. Average annual inflation, 3% is pretty good. And how much money will you have? $1 million is right here. And how much money will I take out? The answer is 4%. I selected as a percentage of the initial total, meaning I take out from $1 million every single time. I never change it. If you want to adjust for inflation, you can if you want to, is a third option. If you want to basically take a percentage of whatever the new amount is, you can if you want to, is a second option. However, I'm going to go right here with the first option. Now, what are going to be the results? In 70 years, will I run out of money if I take out $40,000 every single year? Let's click right here, view schedule. So right here are the results. And again, guys, 2021, I started off with $1 million. I'll zoom in, and basically I took out $40,000, meaning I only had, for example, $56,000 basically left over, right? That's the whole idea here. But look at this, guys, okay? Over the next 70 years, again, a long, long time, by 2090, my kids are going to inherit somewhere around $444 million. That's how crazy this math actually is. And I basically only took it around $2.8 million. That's the whole idea. Meaning, again, the basket is going to overflow. And by the way, when you get to a certain point, when you have, let's just say $10 million in there, you can just be like, okay, I'll take out 5% and I'll live off of that, just increase it and just for inflation, whatever you want to do. But the answer is, this is the way you never run out of money, by taking less than you make. And the core idea is following the 4% rule. So meaning only take out 4%, although your money grows at 8% or 10%. Imagine investing $1 million in 50 years. By the way, 50 years, let's say 50 years would be, for example, maybe like 2071. So by 2071, you would have somewhere around $72 million. By the way, I'm not lying. Here's the math right here. $72 million that you actually have, okay? That is the magic of compound interest. Now, by the way, of course, you know, the market can have, for example, some hiccups here and there, but the answer is you'll never run out, because basically it's just such a small percentage you're taking out. That's the idea. At least in minimum, it should last you 33 years if you go through, for example, for a 25-year recession or depression or whatever. But the likelihood of that happening, again, is very low. Very, very low. However, if you made it all the way here, you're probably wondering, well, Tommy, how the heck am I supposed to save up $1 million? It's a lot of money, right? So how can I retire basically with a lot less money and still do this whole magic loop thing? Well, the answer is you can follow these 4 steps. The first step is basically pay off your debts first. That's going to free up, for example, a lot of your income to actually go ahead and invest. Second step is basically save up for 3 to 6 months worth of emergencies, meaning this money is going to save you in case anything goes wrong while you're trying to invest money. It gives you kind of like a little cushion in case you basically get fired or lose your job or whatever actually happens. Third step is, instead of investing, for example, half your income, just invest 10, 20%. Hear me out here. But with the rest of your money, grab that money and try to pay off your home in less than 15 years as fast as possible. Now, what happens is this, okay? Usually shelter, people pay around 33% to 40% to 50% of their income going straight to rent or towards a mortgage. But if you have a paid for home, what does that mean? It means, for example, I no longer need $40,000 a year. I would only need, for example, around 70% of that. Meaning, hey, I only need around $28,000 because basically my home is paid off. So I have no rent, no mortgage, meaning I need less money. Multiply by 25, that basically means, hey, Tommy, instead of needing $1 million, all I would need is basically $700,000. So what this means, for example, is you're going to not be required to invest as much money. You're also going to have, for example, a paid for home. And remember, okay, when I say retire and have an infinite money, I don't mean you quit your job. You still have a job that you actually love, by the way. You have the options to actually work, but you have income coming in from your job. You have income from over here. You have a paid for home, security, no debt. You can do whatever you want with your income because basically the stock market is going to be giving you a full salary. And if you do it this way, right, you invest only 10-20%. By the time you're done with paying off the house, you'll have, for example, a good chunk of money in there. But then you have a paid for home, you can invest more money, get to your goal a lot faster. But by that point, you're basically saving around a third of your income that you would have been spending, for example, on the house. That is how I'm currently doing it, and that's how you can do it too. And that is the infinite money loop. Meaning, you don't need around 30% of the money you think you need if you basically pay off the mortgage a lot sooner. That's the core idea, guys, okay? I'll see you guys next time. Comment down below. Let me know this information right here. How much money will you actually need, okay? The goal is you have to have a lump sum in there. You might win it. You might save it up over a long period of time or in the short term by making sacrifices, okay? But comment down below. Let me know how much do you need and how are you going to do it? Long term or short term? For me, long term team all the way. See you guys next time. As always, like, subscribe, hit the bell to get notified. If you want to call me and join me, well, a link is down below. Schedule a call with me right now. I also go live on my third channel called Ask TommyBryson. I take calls over there. On top of also, if you want to DM me right here on Instagram at TommyBryson. On top of also, here's another video here. Click my face right here. And as always, peace.